Today is all about nested for loops. That would be one for loop inside of another for loop. Why would you ever want to do anything with these? If you imagine a matrix, right? Or you imagine a spreadsheet, and you've got numbers all across the top in a row, and then the next row, and the next row, and you want to walk through. You can hold the row at row 1 and look at column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Or for counting in computer science, we'd start at 0, 0, column 0, row 0. Anyway, this will become super useful later, but for right now, we're just looking at trying to walk through and watch it do what it's supposed to be doing. Hopefully, you have already watched the Eclipse demo where I did have the green line bounce through it. If you didn't, hit pause here, go there and watch that first. So here we go. We're going to trace this out on paper just like you would get to do on an AP test. So we let I start at 0, and we are going to run this until I is less than 4. So then if this is an integer, we're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. So it'll run 4 times, but 0, 1, 2, 3. All right. So, great pens. I get set to be 0. J gets set to be 0. And when we go in here, this is going to run for 0, 1, and 2. It won't run for 3. All right. We're going to print out I plus j. So I plus j is 0. So that gets printed to the console. We hit the bottom of this for loop, and then what we need to do is bounce back up here to this j++, and that's going to increase j by 1. So if j was 0, j now becomes 1, but I does not change, right? We're going to run this one for 0, for 1, for 2, and when that's done, we're going to keep going until we get to the bottom of the outer for loop, and then we'll bounce that one back up. So here we go. We ran it for 0, we bumped it up to 1, 1 is less than 3, we go back in, I plus j, 1, we bump j up to 2, we go back in, 2 is less than 3, great, I plus j is 2, we bump j up to 3, that does not go in. Okay, then, since it doesn't go in, we skip this, we go to the bottom of the for loop, there's more code to run. Print line out. Okay, now I've hit the bottom of the outer for loop. Before we go here, we need to make sure this loop is finished. So bounce this back up to I++. I++ makes this go from 0 to 1. So that was the first round of this loop. Now we'll go for the second one. 1 is less than 4, that's good. J goes back to 0, right? Because we're starting all over again. As soon as you get outside of this blue loop, that J value disappears. It's completely wiped out. We're outside of the scope of J. So J goes in as 0. I plus J is 1. Bump J up. 1. 1 is less than 3. Hooray. So you keep on going. Oops. 2, 3. When J is 2, J++ goes over here. 2 is less than 3, that goes in, life is good. When J is 2 and it gets bumped up to 3, right? That doesn't work. We're done with this loop. We go down here, we print out, we finish that loop, we go back up. All right, I'd like you to, and so now I is going to change, I++, I changes to 2, and 2 does go in. So I'd like you to finish this table. If you could press pause, I'll finish the table, and then we'll come back and look at it together, all right? This is where you press pause right now. Hit the pause button. All right. Hopefully you got 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. 3 didn't work, just like always. And it should have printed out 3, 4, 5 out. And then when it finished here, it went back up here, bumped this to 4. 4 didn't work, so it came down here and printed done. Hopefully that's what you got. All right.